Even after more than 10 years since Adam Richman departed from Man vs. Food, there's one challenge that still haunts him and makes him feel ill at the mere thought. Adam Richman is not only a passionate gastronaut, but also a staunch New York Yankees fan. This made his attempt at the Eagles' challenge in Season 1 intensely personal. The challenge was to devour a massive 5-pound burger loaded with 20 slices of bacon and cheese, accompanied by 5 pounds of fries and a colossal pickle, faster than his competitor. The stakes were high. Lose, and he would have to don an I Love Boston shirt, a fate he was desperate to avoid. Despite Richman's best efforts, he was outpaced by Chuck Whittle, a Boston Red Sox fan who faced the prospect of wearing an I Love New York shirt if he lost. The results showed that Richman had eaten 6 ounces less than Whittle. As a result, Richman had to begrudgingly put on the I Love Boston shirt, looking thoroughly displeased. He even covered his face during the photo op for Eagles Deli and restaurant's Wall of Shame, though he managed a handshake with his rival before retreating in embarrassment. One of the most unforgettable moments from Man vs. Food has left a lasting mark. In the show's inaugural season, Adam Richman ventured to New Orleans for an extraordinary challenge at Acme Oyster House, consuming a staggering 180 oysters. With only 1 in 6 challengers succeeding, the odds were steep. Richman, armed with lemon and hot sauce, tackled the mountain of oysters with surprising speed, finishing in just 21 minutes amid a sea of empty shells and plates. But the aftermath was far from over. Nearly a decade later, during his appearance on the Premium Pete Show, Richman revealed that the experience had a lasting impact. Despite his victory, he confessed that eating oysters had become a struggle ever since that fateful challenge. After the oyster challenge in New Orleans, which was over half a decade ago, I think I may have had less than a dozen since. It just turned me off.
Just even thinking about it makes me feel some kind of way. Ugh.
Given the vast quantities of food Adam Richman devoured as a competitive eater, it's surprising he struggles with oysters alone, rather than having a longer list of off-limits foods. One of the most notorious incidents from Man vs. Food unfolded in Sarasota, Florida, during Adam Richman's attempt at Munchie's 420 Cafe's Fire in Your Hole challenge. This challenge required him to consume 10 chicken wings slathered in an incredibly fiery sauce, containing ghost pepper extract reputedly 170 times hotter than Tabasco sauce. Richman's attempt was short-lived. He managed only 2 wings before seeking refuge in the walk-in freezer with a glass of milk. Later, he revealed on a 2017 episode of Hot Ones that the cafe had deliberately sabotaged him. According to Richman, the cafe had used an entire bottle of ghost pepper extract, making the wings dangerously intense. His frustration was less about failing the challenge and more about the hazardous methods employed. He recounted to Sean Evans how the extreme heat caused his tongue and nostrils to swell significantly by the time he reached the bathroom, underscoring the severity of the challenge and the unsanitary tactics used. The reason why I'm mad is not because of my record. I don't give a shit about that. It's that it's cavalier and dangerous. If you're thinking about tackling challenges like Richman did, skip this one. It's notorious for cheating. On Man vs. Food, dairy has frequently proven to be a formidable opponent, and the Comfy Cow Ice Cream Challenge in Kentucky was no exception. In this episode from the show's 4th season, Adam Richman stepped away from competing to mentor local challengers. The spotlight fell on Joseph Burrito Joe Nicolai, a warehouse custodian tasked with devouring a massive 7.5-pound sundae. The dessert featured 15 scoops of the Comfy Cow's renowned ice cream, layered with fruit, whipped cream, and a 1/4 pound of nuts, all within a tight 60-minute window. Richman advised Nicolai to maintain a steady pace and to liquidate the ice cream to prevent brain freeze. Initially, Nicolai followed this strategy well, swiftly finishing a pound of ice cream without encountering the dreaded brain freeze. However, his rapid consumption ultimately backfired. Despite his progress, Nicolai's overzealous eating led to a dramatic setback. After completing the sundae and its toppings, he was unable to keep it down and ended up vomiting everything he had just consumed. The result was a Travel Channel broadcast that had to apologize for the digestive difficulties experienced. In this contest of Man vs. Food, the food emerged victorious. In the Hellfire Challenge at San Jose's Smoke Eater's Hot Wings, Adam Richman confronted a level of spice that was almost unbearable. Tasked with eating 12 incredibly hot wings, he was required to do so without gloves, meaning he had to lick the scorching sauce off his fingers after each bite. Midway through, Richman looked like he was having an existential meltdown. He described the experience as feeling like each finger was like licking fire. The ordeal was far from over, though. After finishing the wings, he endured a grueling 5-minute afterburn period during which he couldn't wash his face or hands or drink any water. This added layer of punishment only intensified the challenge, testing his limits in a way few could imagine. With nothing to soothe my molten mouth, I drifted to the very brink of unconsciousness.
But my face is on fire!
Among the numerous challenges Adam Richman faced on Man vs. Food, the milkshake challenge at Crown Candy Kitchen in St. Louis, Missouri proved unexpectedly overwhelming. Tasked with consuming 15 milkshakes in under 30 minutes, Richman was up against one of the country's most daunting food challenges, attempted by only a handful over the past century. Despite choosing his own flavors and adopting a strategy to thin the shakes for easier consumption, the sheer volume of sugar and dairy began to take its toll. The challenge became increasingly difficult as he struggled to keep each shake down. With just 4 shakes remaining, Richman was hit by intense nausea, forcing him to rush to the bathroom. This not only led to his disqualification, but also resulted in the episode being censored. The situation was so dire that the camera had to divert from the chaos, as Richman unfortunately did not make it to the restroom in time, causing a regrettable and messy outcome. Throughout his extensive run on Man vs. Food, Adam Richman demonstrated an impressive resistance to spicy foods. However, his visit to Orichan Ramen in Los Angeles' Little Tokyo district tested his limits like never before. In this challenge, Richman faced the special number 2, a 2.2-pound bowl of ramen doused in a secret spice blend and packed with chopped jalapenos. Initially, Richman tackled the ramen with his usual confidence, but the spice soon overwhelmed him. As he finished the noodles and took on the fiery broth, the intense heat caused tears to stream down his face, signaling the challenge was taking its toll. Despite the searing pain and discomfort, Richman refused to surrender. Displaying extraordinary perseverance, he managed to finish every last bit of the ramen, earning himself a place on Orichan Ramen's Wall of Bravery. His remarkable feat was a testament to his legendary spice tolerance. During Season 4 of Man vs. Food, Adam Richman provided one of the show's most memorable outtakes in New Mexico. While filming an introduction in a field in Albuquerque, Richman impulsively bit into a pepper, only to find it far hotter than anticipated. Initially caught off guard, he stood in stunned silence as the intense heat hit him. Despite his usual resilience with spicy foods, this pepper was a different story. Richman's reaction, his head thrown back, hands trembling, and a silent, desperate plea to the heavens, clearly showed just how much this fiery challenge got to him. After Adam Richman retired from competitive eating in 2012, Casey Webb took over the challenge mantle. His first big test came at Allen's Authentic Mexican Restaurant in Portland, Oregon, where he faced the Diablo Burrito Challenge. This daunting task required him to finish a 2.2-pound burrito packed with 10 of the world's hottest chili peppers. The challenge proved formidable, particularly when Webb was struck by hiccups, a common and dreaded reaction to extreme spiciness.
He looks in a really bad way.
Webb's ordeal only intensified as he tackled the burrito. Despite managing to eat half within 5 minutes, the combination of excruciating heat and relentless hiccups made progress increasingly difficult. Each sip of water seemed to exacerbate his discomfort, leaving him red-faced, sweating profusely, and gasping for air. With a third of the burrito still uneaten, time ultimately ran out on his challenge. When Casey Webb tackled the 29-inch pizza challenge in Lebanon, Illinois, he enlisted the help of Ryan Masson, a former champion who had conquered the same challenge a decade earlier. Despite their combined efforts, they faced an unexpected hurdle: the cheese. Initially, their progress seemed promising. However, as the pizza cooled, the cheese hardened, turning each bite into a struggle. The once melted cheese became an arduous challenge to chew and swallow, compounded by the increasingly dry crust. Additionally, the toppings, green peppers, onions, black olives, mushrooms, and pepperoni, proved to be troublesome. As they moved toward the crust-free center, the toppings kept slipping off, complicating their efforts further. Undeterred, Webb and Masson tried various tactics, including standing up to aid digestion. Despite their best efforts, they fell short of completing the challenge within the 30-minute time limit, leaving a few slices uneaten.
You didn't win, so you're not going to get a t-shirt, and you're not going to be on the Hall of Fame.
Every devoted meat lover eventually faces the dreaded meat sweats, especially when confronted with an 8-pound grilled sirloin steak. Adam Richman experienced this firsthand during the Sleeping Cow Challenge in Puerto Rico, where he had 40 minutes to devour the massive steak along with a generous array of sides. Combining such a hefty meal with Puerto Rico's hot and humid weather proved to be overwhelming. Richman had to pause frequently, using paper towels to wipe away sweat and struggling to generate enough saliva to continue eating. Despite his efforts, the sheer volume of food was too much to handle. He managed to tackle most of the steak but fell short on the fries, only finishing about half. The ordeal was so intense that Richman even considered the possibility of vegetarianism, reflecting on the challenge as a turning point in his eating adventures.
The meat sweats are so real. They're oh man.
Milkshakes nearly defeated Adam Richman once more during the colossal challenge at Chicken Ruth's Deli. Faced with the task of downing a 6-pound vanilla milkshake and a 1.5-pound turkey and corned beef sandwich in under an hour, Richman tackled the milkshake first, foregoing a straw. He was soon hit with an intense brain freeze as the cold drink caused the blood vessels in his mouth to constrict, making the challenge even more daunting.
Right now it's too cold to go on. I got a little bit of brain freeze right here. I'm gonna let this melt for a little bit, work on the sandwich for a bit.
Fortunately, the brain freeze was just a minor obstacle. Once it passed, Richman adapted his approach, alternating between bites of the sandwich and sips of the milkshake. This new strategy paid off, allowing him to complete the challenge with 10 minutes to spare. He became only the third person out of hundreds to conquer it,